Like the smell of a hospital.
But it could be herpes. And I was like...
Felt like someone stabbed me in the arm.
Oh my god.
Oh, maybe thyroid cancer. Come back in 8 weeks.
What? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is 𝖉𝖗 and I'm oncology pharmacist. Having watched Trash Taste for years now, I'm noticing a recurrent theme on the podcast: health. And for good reasons. I feel like we're all at the age now where we should be more conscious about taking care of our own bodies. So I wanted to make this video to go through all the times the boys and their guests have talked about health-related topics. And I will try my best to make sure you guys are getting the right information.
You need to get good.
This is why hospitals scare me as well. Because I'm like, when I'm around sick
That's right. That's
people,
how this whole conversation started.
when I'm around sick people, I get way more scared of being sick.
Of course.
It freaks me out.
Course,
I don't know why. Is this like a human reaction that we have?
Yeah, I think there could be two reasons. One is if everyone around you has an infectious illness, you don't want to get sick yourself. And second, I think this is a sort of more innate guttural feeling that we have. We're just averse to seeing illnesses. That's why even in a lot of cultures, being near a sick person, even though their condition might not be infectious, it's bad luck. And I get it, a lot of the waiting rooms can have kind of downer vibes as well. Everyone around you is either not feeling well at the moment or waiting to hear some sort of bad news from their doctor. So no matter how cheerful the hospitals may make their renovations look or play really soothing, relaxing music, it just doesn't really change the underlying vibes. But for someone like me who goes to work in a hospital every day, and not just any hospital, it's a cancer hospital, I actually think the vibes are pretty good.
That we're like scared of sick.
I think it's pretty natural to be afraid of a hospital.
Yeah. I feel like that's a natural human reaction because you are averse to getting ill. You know, you are adverse to getting ill.
People are sick. People die there. It's like, why would you enjoy a place where people die?
Okay, so there's this underground passage in our hospital that literally looks like a World War II bunker. Like the rest of our hospital actually looks quite decent. It gives a nice, warm, inviting feeling, but this passage just has like concrete walls, not even painted. The ceiling has all the pipes exposed. It's really, really narrow as well. And apparently I heard this passage is where they wheel the dead bodies to the morgue. So yeah, Joey's not wrong. Hospitals are places where people die.
When I had when I had it, it's genetic. Well, I still have it. When I had it. I was cured. I was cured. I'm cured.
It's just a state of mind. It's
just way. It's gone. Boom. Just like that.
It's like food poisoning.
Yeah. Subscribe to my 5-step course on how to get rid of any genetic illness. So I had to go to the hospital a lot when I was a kid because I had to get my blood tested like every 3 months or something, or every 6 months, something like that. And far too often for my liking.
Yeah.
And I hated it because I had to like sit there for like 4 hours, get a test, wait, get another test, and get results and stuff. And then the whole time I was just surrounded by like very, very ill people. And it was always just like really scary as like an 8-year-old. And then like keep growing up and just keep seeing this. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I wonder if Connor went to a special pediatric hematologist or just went to a general hematologist. Because I can imagine if it was just a general hematologist, the office probably filled with a lot more older or sicker people. Because Connor's genetic illness, hemophilia, doesn't really cause any acute or immediate effect unless there's trauma. I actually made a whole video about that, so I'll leave that link down below. Other conditions in the hematology category can give symptoms to people. Like for example, anemia makes people really tired and fatigued, so they might look really ill when they're waiting in the chair. Polycythemia vera, which is kind of the opposite of anemia, where your body produces too many red blood cells, it can cause your hands or feet to have this purplish and swelling color, which can look very sickly. And of course, there's a lot of blood cancers that hematologists will treat as well, like leukemias and lymphomas. So for 8-year-old Connor who have this hemophilia condition, which on the outside doesn't really appear ill, who look at people that are much older than him and appear much more ill, it can definitely be a scary sight.
And all the offices of like the doctors have are always like really cluttered, really messy, and I was like,
I think the one thing I hate about the hospital the most is the smell.
Yeah, the smell.
It's like the smell of a hospital is just like, it's like it's hard to explain what that is.
There was also like
it smells of illness.
Literally.
So I'm hoping that cluttered offices is no longer a thing because we have really moved from using paper charts to electronic charts. I remember my family doctor's office had a full wall of patient charts. And I remember his front desk, whenever I go see him, would go find my chart on the wall, take it out, and place it outside his door so that when he comes in to see me, he can grab my chart and review whatever history I had. But now his office is super clean and clutter-free because he got rid of all these paper charts and everything is just stored electronically now. And about the smell of the hospital, so I personally don't think the air smells like anything. At most, maybe just an alcohol type smell because everyone is just using hand sanitizers all the time. But there is this one smell that I really dislike, and it's the detergent they use to wash all the blankets and the scrubs in the hospital. It must be some sort of special detergent that they use because it does not smell like your typical Dawn or Tides, okay? And whenever I need to change into scrubs because I need to go into the sterile compounding room, that smell just hits me. And if anyone knows why they have to use that particular detergent, please let me know.
I paid $77 for a COVID test, a blood test, and a CT scan.
What?
Yeah.
I wonder what he needed a CT scan for. I'm not sure why Connor needed a CT scan. I'm sure it's medically appropriate, but just an FYI for you guys, a CT scan uses X-ray technologies to image your body. You know that machine that you go in and it kind of rotates around your body? Well, it's basically using a lot of X-ray sources to image your entire body. It creates a 3D image of your body versus X-ray, which only creates a 2D image of your body. So as you can imagine, you're exposed to a lot more radiation during a CT scan compared to X-ray. It's about 70 times as much radiation. So we actually don't recommend taking CT scan too often for things that don't require it. Obviously, if you need a CT scan for a diagnosis, you should do it. But let's just say, for example, if you're taking repeated CT scans of your head for no good reason, then you're basically just exposing yourself to a lot of radiation, which can lead to increased chance of cancer.
Yeah. And I guess in like the UK,
Yeah,
do you guys have free healthcare?
Yeah, we have free healthcare.
Yeah.
I think doctors won't give you stuff like that there unless they think you need it though.
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of hard to get stuff like that.
I feel like with UK, it's very specific on what illness you have, because sometimes you have like this really common illness, they just tell you to just go home and sleep it off basically.
Yeah, UK doctors a lot of the time are very reluctant to like do anything.
Same problem here with Canada as well. A lot of the times the doctors will have to decide, is this testing or treatment actually necessary? And is it going to bring a lot of unnecessary burden on our healthcare system? Whereas I feel like in some other countries, like for example, China, where I came from, there's this tendency to overtest and overprescribe. Definitely, there's obviously downsides to both. Being in a free healthcare system, you might think your illness needs a lot more attention, a lot more testing, or a lot more treatment. But the doctor goes, you know what, your symptoms are just too mild. Even if there's that 0.001% chance that it might be something bad, we just don't have the resources to tell you to go do every single test to rule it out. So that could make the patient feel like they're not being well taken care of. Versus the opposite, the doctor just wants to prescribe every single test or give you the most expensive treatment. But a lot of the times, these tests might not provide anything meaningful anyway, so you're also just putting the patient through the process and wasting a lot of their time and money as well. There's no easy answer to fix any of this.
I haven't been seeing either of you at the gym lately. I don't know what's been going on with that, but you know, I'm very disappointed.
I mean, who was the one that got a C in cholesterol at the
Yeah,
I
wanted to like open on that. So
how is it that she gets all A's and yet I got a C on my liver? When I'm probably the one out of the four of us who drinks the least.
Okay, I feel like I need more context. C in liver? What could that possibly mean? I hope they break it down and told Joey exactly why he got a C. Let's keep watching.
Okay. So to give context to this conversation, so a few weeks ago, if you're a regular Trash Taste viewer, you would know that we had our biannual or annual health check. Annual health check. Yeah. And
Which is something that a Japanese company forces every employee to do. They have to go for a checkup, and the company also gets the results.
Yes.
I think this is a good thing. This is preventative healthcare, but I think it's only a good thing if they actually test on things that matter and also have a healthcare professional to explain to you what all of the readings mean. So let's keep watching to see if they will do that.
And so we did our health checkup a few weeks ago. We talked about it on Trash Taste, and we just got our results back. And this is the first time I've ever gotten results back from like getting my health checkup in a foreign country. And I did not know that you get graded.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing numbers and them saying like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, it's just a funny number, isn't it?
Because I was going through my health checkup and overall I got a B. So I was like, okay. I am a straight A student. What the did I do wrong?
There's no B in Asian. Yeah, so I mean, my results, I got like all A's, which is great. As you would expect from someone who is under the age of 30. You're generally supposed to be quite healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I got a B on BMI and I got a C on my cholesterol.
Right.
Ooh.
But I got like well, I'm not sure how cholesterol works exactly because I don't know shit. I'm dumb. But so there was like they had like 3 different cholesterols and all of them were like a little, you know, all of them were kind of out of touch. If you will.
Right.
I am definitely noticing the trend that younger and younger people have issue with high cholesterol. I'm also seeing a lot more young people having fatty liver. Just having fatty liver doesn't mean anything bad on its own, but if it gets worse and worse, it could definitely lead to more serious liver problems like cirrhosis or even liver cancer. Okay, they did a pretty good explanation there, but just to add on to that a little bit, the good cholesterol, which is HDL, they actually can help to remove the excess cholesterol from the body. So in my Sauce at Work Code Black episode 1 video, I talked about how a plaque is formed in the blood vessels and how that can lead to heart attack and stroke, right? So this good cholesterol, HDL, they can actually help protect against forming the plaques or even help remove them. So if Connor is saying he got a C on everything, that must mean his LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, is high. His HDL, which is the good cholesterol, is too low, and the triglycerides are too high.
I mean, mine was worse because I got a C on my liver, and I think a B on my heart rate monitoring or something.
Right.
Really?
And everything else was an A.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like usually on your thing. Like I think you two got like a doctor's like note, right? Or like a doc. Did you guys get a doctor's?
So you
certificate?
can ask when you get the thing. I don't know if you said yes or no. You can ask if you want advice.
Right.
And I said no. I don't want advice.
I said no either.
Why not?
I don't know if it's the same doctor's note that we're talking about, but it was just like a summation of the test results, which
It didn't
just
explain anything.
no, it didn't. It just said some of the values are a bit, abnormal, which is higher or lower than we expect, but there shouldn't be anything to worry about.
I didn't even get a summation.
Right, okay, so I feel like that's where this sort of preventative measures, getting annual checkup, could be not helpful if you're not explained what the readings mean, right? So what does a grade C in liver mean? I mean, I can only guess. When we take blood tests for the liver, we're looking at certain liver enzymes. We're looking at bilirubin, we're looking at ALT, AST, alk-phos, maybe LDH and GGT. And to simply put, when your body's going through a lot of inflammation, or if the liver is under a lot of stress from either damage or taking certain drugs that are bad for the liver, these numbers will be higher compared to the normal range. But like I said, there could be tons and tons of different reasons why these numbers are high. And each one of these values or a combination of different values can mean different things. So really, without a doctor looking at your results and explaining to you in a personalized way what this could mean, getting this grade doesn't really help. There's another reason I can think of where this sort of annual checkup might not provide too much value. It's when they test for tumor markers. So a lot of the times people ask for annual checkups or preventative blood tests. What they're looking for is to make sure they don't have cancer. Totally understandable. However, what they don't realize is it's just not a super accurate way to rule out cancer. Having low tumor markers in your blood doesn't mean that you don't have cancer. How do we rule out cancer? Well, every cancer has different methods, and some cancers don't even have a good testing system right now. But if you're interested on that subject, let me know. I could make another video about that.
I just had a similar experience with Sydney, actually. Because one day Sydney just had like a massive bruise on her leg. Right? It was that night we went out.
Was she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
Okay.
It's okay. So my biggest worry was that it was a blood clot or internal bleeding or something, because she had not hit that part of her body at all. The bruise just appeared.
If there's no trauma to that area and a really massive bruise develops, it can be concerning. I think what's really important to notice though is how long it takes for your bruise to disappear. If this massive bruise just goes away on its own within a reasonable period of time, typically that's not something we worry too much about. If, however, you're getting bruises on a lot of different parts of your body at once, on some really unusual places like on the back or on the legs, and if they're taking a lot longer to heal, then that's something we would start worrying about.
And I don't know if this is a Japanese thing, but is there just like a general practitioner that you can go to, like a general... Okay.
It's still clinics, right?
Yeah.
There's clinics that specialize in certain parts of the body, and you need to just know this problem is this particular clinic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
annoying.
I'm like, what doctor do I go to? Because
Yeah.
you can't just go to a general practitioner who can refer you to the specialist.
Right.
I would probably pick hematology just because even though this looks like a skin condition, but it's really caused by your blood not clotting as well. So that's from your platelets not functioning as well. So a hematologist can probably do the proper checkups for you.
You have to go to the specialist. Unfortunately, I ain't a doctor,
Yeah.
so we were just like kind of guessing. So we tried going to a bone doctor. They looked at the bruise and they were like, "That's bad. That looks bad. Let's do some checks." And they said they did some checks, and then they did like an ultrasound of it and everything, and they were like, "Yeah, we can confirm that it is not a blood clot or internal bleeding, but we don't know what it is." And we were like, "Can you refer us to somewhere where we can get like a check to maybe try and find out what this is?" And they were like, "Don't know."
Yeah, that's incredibly tough for the patient. Like if you didn't know why you're having this issue, or most people don't understand the entire body's anatomy and physiology and understand where everything is coming from, how are you supposed to know what specialty to see? Versus I think in Canada or US, we have this referral system where you see a general practitioner at first, they'll help you whatever they can, and if they can't, they'll know what specialty to refer you to. But then, of course, that has its own problem where this process can take weeks or even months. So having a guided approach, but it takes longer versus shooting in the dark, but you can potentially see the right doctor within the same day. What do you guys prefer?
After the cycling thing that I did, right? Like it was like 8 days of cycling. I had this like pimple that was like so painful on my ass.
Sorry.
No, it's just, no, go ahead. No, it's funny. It is funny. It's so funny. It's so painful.
Could be cancer.
Turns out,
You might have ass cancer.
yeah. So like, and it didn't go away for like a while, and I
Right.
just kind of like it would hurt for a week, and then it wouldn't. It would just go, and then it would come back and hurt for a week, and this just kind of happened, and it was like I was stupid because every week it went, I just totally forgot about it, and then
Right,
it came
right.
back. I'm like, yeah, I guess that still hurts, huh?
Right.
So after like 2-3 months of this, I was like, all right, guess I should go and check it out.
I wonder what it is. Maybe some sort of cyst developed just from too much friction with the skin in contact with the seat of the bike. Another possibility, if there's hair in that area, it could be an ingrown hair, and that can cause a lot of inflammation. And if it gets infected, if you don't treat it with antibiotics, it's probably not going to go away on its own.
He looks at it, he goes, "Oh yeah, it's probably just an antibacterial thing or whatever, bacterial infection.
Yeah.
Just take some antibiotics and you'll be fine." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "But it could be herpes." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why would you tell me that?"
That's like the afterthought, but it could be herpes.
I mean, if you really wanted to find out, you can take blood tests to rule out herpes. And typically, herpes are caused either by HSV1 or HSV2, but I would assume the symptoms would be a little bit different. Usually, the lesions from herpes is like a group of them, and if you just have one large pimple, that's typically not herpes. Oh, okay, I think this is the episode where he actually talks about doing surgery to get rid of this pimple.
You also had surgery. How'd
Yeah, I had surgery in Japan, so that was fun.
Why is Connor wearing headphones?
You can get this thing from basically sitting too much. Like a cyst.
You got butt cancer?
Yeah, basically. I got butt cancer.
you got the gamer butt?
I got gamer butt.
You got gamer butt?
It happened the first time, actually, in the episode.
I'm laughing about this, but this is no laughing matter.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I remember I talked about on Trash Taste where I can't remember which episode it was. I talked about going to the doctor for like a butt pimple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time I thought it was just a pimple, and
Yeah.
this guy gave me meds, and it went away for like a week. And then after that, I was like, it keeps going and coming back in the exact same spot, like this like a pimple.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, I'll go check it out. Now, and this is like, this is like 4 times going to the fucking dermatologist.
Yeah.
It was so long, dude. And then you get like a referral letter, And then they're like, yeah, okay, we think it might be something more serious. And I was like, oh shit, okay, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
So, like, so what? You just got it from sitting too much? Like, what?
Yeah,
How did
so
you get
apparently it's a thing that you can get in a lot of sedentary jobs.
Okay, I think I know what this is. It's a pilonidal cyst, and it almost always happens near the tailbone. A cyst is a fluid-filled sac, and a pilonidal cyst, there's also dead skin and debris trapped into that cyst. And it's actually pretty common, especially in men. It happens 2 to 4 times more in men compared to women. And yeah, like Connor said, some of the risk factors can include sitting for a really long time. If there's increased hair density in that area, being overweight or obese could be a risk factor as well. Basically, when you're sitting, it stretches that area and the hair follicle breaks. So then all this debris and dead skin pours in and kind of gets clogged in there. And I know they're just making a joke when they say butt cancer. It's probably not going to turn into butt cancer, but if left untreated and this thing is allowed to grow and keeps getting inflamed, there's some evidence to say that prolonged inflammation can lead to increased risk of skin cancer. But in reality, the answer is most likely not.
Endless referrals.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. I remember it being like this in the UK, but in Japan, it's like, it was like a JRPG fetch quest. Every time they thought I had something, they were like, you gotta go talk to this person.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, take this letter. But then I would have to come back to the hospital to get the letter to take to the other hospital.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would go for a visit and they're like, we'll tell you to go to here. Just come back another day for the letter. It's what?
Yeah.
You gotta make me come all the way back here again?
Yeah.
The system seems a bit inefficient. In North America, I think when we do referrals, the doctor just sends the referrals directly to the other doctor. So it's kind of like an office to office thing. You as the patient wouldn't need to take the letter and then go find the other office and hand it to them.
So I'm in this hospital, right, waiting, and they're telling me I need surgery. And, obviously I'm like, oh, fuck, I've never had surgery before. That's kind of, have you guys had surgery before, by the way?
No.
Okay. So I was kind of terrified by the idea, but I was like, I think I can do it because I know they'll numb the area. I won't be put to sleep. That's not like a thing. I think they're very I think normally
They're very weird with anesthesia.
Yeah.
I think the impression I got from Japan, I don't know about the rest of the world because I've only experienced it in Japan. I got the impression that they would only do that in like a very extreme case.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is it because they don't have a developed system to monitor patients when they're under anesthesia and there's just that risk that you may never wake up and they don't want to take that risk?
And they give me these like fucking giant, like ancient headphones.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to watch this. Just it's like a disclaimer. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I press play. So apparently, and this is, I think, the most common thing that can go wrong with surgeries is the anesthesia. It's like because people can have allergic reactions to it and stuff. And in this thing, it kind of like, I don't know why, it explained it in a way that sounded really horrific, where it was like, you may have adverse side effects when injected with anesthesia. You could go into like shock and die. And I was like, oh, love that for me. And I was, that sort of like made me freak the fuck out. What the f?
I think this is where, again, if you have a healthcare professional to explain to you what these are, rather than having the patient watching a video on their own, could be a little bit more beneficial, because what we're gonna say is there is a very, very low and rare chance you might get an anaphylactic reaction to the injections that we give you. However, our hospital is equipped with hypersensitivity kits and anaphylactic treatments, and when something like this happens, we're going to act right away and give you things to reverse this. So in anaphylaxis, we'll give you an injection of epinephrine. We're gonna make sure your breathing and your heart rate is under control. We're gonna give you a bunch of antihistamines to reverse this allergic reaction. So all of that's going to happen immediately when we see that the patient goes into anaphylaxis. I understand that without explaining all of that, the patient is going to be pretty scared when they read this.
I bet the first time I was on Trash Taste was actually when I was like on camera for real.
Was it really?
And then I had a fungal infection on my armpit.
Oh.
And it felt like it was a big giant, like one that, like on Reddit where you see someone like popping and all the white pus just flies out.
Yeah.
So at the time, last Trash Taste when we're filming, I literally had that on my armpit and it felt like someone stabbed me in the arm.
Oh my God.
It was that painful. Like I didn't want to be like.
Wait, did that happen mid-recording?
Yeah, when I was recording.
What the fuck?
I had like a giant fungal infection on my armpit.
I feel like this stuff only happens to you.
Yeah.
I talk to other people like, I've never heard of a fucking fungal infection.
Yeah, so it's your fault.
Okay, no, not my fault.
Your fault. I'm just
How is it my fault?
I'm kidding. But like, you brought us to Chiba, and he brought us to this like old Japanese house. Right? I noticed something was off when I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And there was like a piss layer of yellow around the rim, and I was like, okay. And then he had like the futons on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And my mistake. I decided to sleep in a tank top because it's comfortable. And that's my problem, is that I realized this guy doesn't clean his mattresses or his blankets or anything.
Okay.
I had my armpit, I was sleeping on my side.
You know when your parents tell you to don't go bare feet when you're walking around the swimming pool? Always wear your slippers or flip-flops. That's why. It's super common to get fungal infections around the swimming pool because fungus can live annoyingly long on any surface, and they really love moist and wet surfaces. So if someone else has athlete's foot, which is a fungal infection, and you also step on the same area with your bare feet, you might get infected with fungal infection. In 𝖉𝖗𝖚's case, maybe if the previous person sleeping in this mattress had a fungal infection, that fungus could still be living in that futon. And if you come into contact, it's very easy to get infected as well. That's why when people have fungal infections like athlete's foot or fungal nail infections, we tell them to stop sharing any towels or clothing with anyone else because it's very easily spread to other people.
Anyways, I had that fungal infection for a whole year.
I heard you
whole
went through
year?
a fucking mission to
Yes.
get it treated.
So every time I sweat, it
Yeah.
would like come back.
Right.
So then I went to the Japanese doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you go there, they go, ooh, that's gross. That looks bad. And then they're like, okay, here's the drugs. That's it. And every time I'm like, yo, what is this? Can you explain like what is this? And they go, I don't know. But here's some drugs for like, maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Here you go. Here's your drug. Every single time I went to like 4 doctors. They all did the same thing.
It's not really professional to just go, oh my God, your thing looks so bad. Yeah, it's not great for the doctor to have that kind of reaction when you go see them.
So I found I had to do everything myself. So
Right.
I went online on Amazon and I typed in dermatology, antifungal soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to I still do this to this day. It's really annoying because it will slowly come back.
All right.
Well, I like twice a day, I rub it with the soap,
Yeah.
and then it stays dormant. And I'm like, okay, at least I figured out how to suppress this.
Stays
You
dormant?
what the fuck? So you got like a permanent disease from this one
No,
thing?
fungal infection is just it's just there perma unless you do something.
No,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
can't
yeah.
be. Really.
No, it's
can't be,
true.
that
It's true.
can't be
Yeah.
right.
If you don't go to the doctor,
Unless you like get it cut out or something.
no, you have to keep it dry. You have to kill the bacteria.
Oh, right.
So
Like a
it
fucking
senses an
mushroom.
armpit, right? It's
Yeah.
always moist. I mean, if you sweat as much as I
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying. Even in healthy people, fungal infections can be really difficult to get rid of once and for all. That's because we actually don't have really good antifungal drugs to kill the fungus. Fungus is a lot more challenging to kill compared to bacteria because they are so much more similar to our own body cells compared to bacteria cells. So it's very hard for a drug to distinguish what is a fungal cell versus what is a human cell. But I'm hoping 𝖉𝖗𝖚's doctors have given him antifungal pills to take and not just sort of topical creams to put on because those are definitely not going to work very well. For fungal skin infections that come back recurrently, we have to put people on antifungal pills for a few months at a time to make sure that it kills the infection 100%. If they stop treatment in the middle, it's very likely that the infection is going to come back.
One time I had a bad throat, and he looked inside my throat, and he recoiled in horror. I had like a throat infection, so it was very sore. He went,
Yeah.
"Oh!" And I nearly fell off the chair.
This sounds crazy. Do a lot of Japanese doctors just do this? Have a visceral reaction to the patient's symptoms?
I'm like, you must have seen a bad throat before, right? And then he, without saying anything, he got out a notepad and crayons and drew my throat silently. And I was sitting there like, am I going to die? It's what's happened here. And he went, this, your throat. And it was just like a bespoke drawing of just a big piece of red. Like Charlotte with the thyroid, right? One of her
can't get
thyroids
shit
just
done
stopped
here.
working, and we went to some doctors here. It was awful. I went to one in Sendai with her, and she went in. She came out really upset. I was like, what did he say? the guy literally went, "Oh, maybe thyroid cancer. Come back in 8 weeks."
What?
Yeah,
And
it's
I was
ridiculous.
like, "What?
Come back in 8 weeks. What are you gonna do in 8 weeks if the patient has thyroid cancer?
You need to
Yes.
sleep well. You need to eat well. You need to get all your vitamins.
So are you
minerals.
being like very
Yeah.
health conscious recently?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I-
not like maximizing everything like 100%,
Yeah.
but just a bit more.
Enough.
I saw you made a tweet saying like what happens if you take like every vitamin on earth? Was that like a joke tweet or
No,
is that
it's
something
not.
you've done?
I'm taking it. It's still here.
We shared a room not too long ago, and he had this like Monday, Tuesday. Can I say this?
Yeah.
He had this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday medicine thing. He had 2 of them, and they were both full
Like a compliance packaging case?
of just various pills.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, there was at least 20 pills a day he was taking.
You're not human, bro.
What were you? What is they like? What are you taking?
24.
Okay, 24 pills. What is it?
Ooh, maybe he's trying to achieve the Brian Johnson effect.
What is
day?
it? Yes, and it's like a handful, like a legit handful of pills.
It's nice. It's like your morning lunch as well.
Dude, you're gonna
What the fuck?
That's a joke.
So what is
got a load of calories.
Okay, what is in these 24 pills, and what are you hoping to get out
Oh
of it?
my
Okay,
God.
so it's basic vitamins.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
in Estonia, you lack sunshine a lot. So
Yeah.
I was like vitamin D deficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing.
Okay, good. Vitamin D. This one actually has evidence to show that it works. Vitamin D deficiency has been linked to depression and also some immune diseases as well. And also, it can cause osteoporosis or fractures. So I also recommend vitamin D in people who are deficient.
Then I have minerals. Like I was also don't.
How do you know if you're vitamin D deficient?
Okay, first of all, don't take pills just because you can buy them. Like I did.
It sounds like when you're on 24 pills, you got to be close.
No, I did different blood tests to like first of all vitamins tests and then mineral tests.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, vitamin D deficiency is pretty bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
where did
yeah.
you get this done? How did you? This is a place you can do it.
Yeah, like
I should-
every
maybe I should-
hospital.
doctor.
Maybe I should do it. Well, I'm just gonna go. I gotta go to the hospital and.
Don't
ask
they
them.
give you like blood grades and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not about like vitamins and stuff and minerals.
It's just about like blood health.
yeah, whatever that
Whatever
means.
that means.
It was like a long time ago because I didn't eat red meat that much because I just didn't want to. I was very vitamin B12 like deficient.
Right, right,
And I would get like insane headaches and tired, and I didn't know why. And then I took the pills, and I was like fine like 2 weeks afterwards.
Okay, so this sounds like it's all guided by science and there's evidence to say why he's taking these kind of specific vitamins and minerals, and it's based on blood tests that he sent. So this is actually okay. If you go do a blood test at your doctor's and they tell you, hey, you're deficient on these things, I think you should supplement them so the levels are back within the normal range. So the first recommendation would always just to have a balanced diet, but if that's not possible, then the second would be to supplement on the things that you're missing. All right, I think I went through all of the clips where they talked about their health. Was there anything that I missed? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully this added more context so you get to know the situation a little bit better. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more contents like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!